Step further. South Africans are also under intense financial pressure, and experts are now saying we should expect to be squeezed even further by rising prices. High inflation and interest rates are likely to weigh in on consumers, with notable increases already in the prices of basic food items and petrol and electricity. So just how much do you need then to survive? Monique Motlock, of course, is out and about looking at the cost of living in Cape Town, though my colleague Monique Motlock is. And Monique, good morning to you. I mean, we've just spoken to Mervyn Abrahams, having a conversation with Gareth about what this means to our food basket. But what can you further tell us in terms of how tight our pockets will be squeezed this morning?
Tumelo, this morning or throughout the day, actually, I'm going to be visiting various households across Cape Town. I've just been in conversation with Tyler Perry, who's truly a remarkable man, along with his family. They've allowed us into their home here in Philippi, and Tashriq was actually telling me that just last night they had to rush their daughter to hospital. So thank you very, very much for speaking to us. I know you must be so tired. Tell me about just how you guys have been surviving. You were mentioning to me that it's thanks to the support of your family.
Hi Monique. Things has been really hectic, you know. Like I'm unemployed, my wife is unemployed, we have 4 children. I'm busy studying, I'm doing my ABIT, and I mean, I'm studying, I need to work, I need to take care of my family. It's quite a lot of pressure, right? We're living from child grown to child grown, right? That is currently the only income that we have. And we have to work around that child grown so much that even that when it comes to the next child grown, that we maybe have a 50 rand left. I mean, it's blessings, you know. We need to cut when it comes to Kimby, so my kids, and all of the 2 of them is using diapers. My son is 3 and my daughter, she's 1 year, 1 month. And I mean, both of them is using Kimby. Kimby is very expensive. Sometimes it's load shedding, then we need to refill our gas. We're not working, you know. Sometimes then it gets very odd, because when you have children, you just need to do whatever you need to do. And over this past month, really, things has been really hectic. And I mean, anytime I could come to my mom, or I can go to my auntie, or I can contact my cousin and tell them, listen, you don't have anything to lend there, you know. And I mean, every single week it goes like that. We always need to borrow to stay afloat. If we don't borrow any money, we're not going to survive.
And when did things start becoming bad? Have you seen that it's over the last year or 2 that you just haven't been able to keep up with payments, keep up with just the general cost of living? Or has it been for a long time? Or is it just during the pandemic?
It's been now, I think, 2 years now. We even had a house that we were renting, and the rent was 1,008 a month. And we were so desperate because the condition that we were living in currently, before we rented that house, we only rented the house for a month, and then we couldn't afford the rent anymore, you know. And I had a place, we sold the place, and then I could pay the advance and the rent for that month. But the following month coming, we couldn't, because we had to borrow money. And I've mentioned earlier that we live from the child grown currently. And I do small jobs here and there. I cook as well, food. So sometimes then I have an order, sometimes I don't have an order. Then we need to sacrifice, you know. And it's really, really, really hard. This year, maybe 2 years now running, things has been really, really, really hectic. I can tell you that.
And my final question, you mentioned some of the priorities that you've had to shift. You even told me earlier, even a 13 rand bread at times is too expensive. So tell me, on your list of budget, on your budget list for a week or a month, what is the priorities, and what are some of the things you've just totally had to cut out?
Okay, so look, normally we would have money. We would buy whatever we need, such as electricity. Every single day we must buy electricity, and it's not like we buy 10 rand, must buy like 100 rand a day. And I mean 100 rand electricity for 5 days, it cost 500 rand. That is excluding the weekend. You get what I'm saying? A bread costs, it was what? 9 rand, it's now 13 rand. And it's the standard bread, they call it the wholesome bread. That is something we can't even afford. Sometimes then we need to decide if we're going to buy a bread or we're going to buy diapers. And I mean, that is really something that we both need. But then we need to just buy 2 Kimbis, so we can just have some funds left to buy bread and buy some 2 rand bologna here at the shop. We are so lucky in this community that we have 1 rand sugar and 1 rand coffee. And there's other communities that really don't have that support. We have even half a packet of red lentils, you know, those dal. We have half a packet of rice. So, I mean, there is ways and means how we try and see how we can accommodate our family on a low budget. Because, I mean, there's no money. We don't have money laying around. So, for me, I wouldn't say that we are really struggling. What I mean is that things are just really expensive. It's not because we don't have money. It's because stuff is really expensive. And with the little money that we have, it is impossible for us to come through the week with the money that we have because things are expensive. I mean, for sure, it's 18 rand, a small bottle. So it's really hectic, really.
Thank you very much, Tashreeq. That was Tashreeq Perry speaking to us here from his home in Philippi. And the fact that I was telling him he has such a positive outlook on life, saying there that they're not really struggling, despite having to rely on the support of family members and just doing the best that they can. And I'm sure that Tashreeq's hope is that once he's completed his studies, that his family will be able to move on to a different level and their lives will just improve. And this is just one of the households that we are visiting. There's still many more to come.
Yeah, and I mean, Monica, the story that you're sharing with us this morning is proof that even though cost of living is going up, some people's, salaries or state of living either stays the same or continues to go down. So there's definitely no balance with what we're going through right now with the cost of living. But thank you so much, colleague, for bringing the story for us this morning. I want to move on now to Ronald Masinda, eNCA reporter Ronald Masinda, bringing a similar focus right for us, colleague, this morning around the cost of living and how exactly, ordinary South Africans will have to tighten up. And as mentioned before, as these rising costs do incur and increase, it seems people don't have relief in terms of where they are regarding their income or even opportunities, which they can then balance out this high cost of living, rather. Good morning to you, Ronald.
Good morning, Tumelo. You're coming to us live from Bonteheuwel. Very cold day in Cape Town, I must say, Tumelo. But what we've been told by community leaders here in Bonteheuwel, they say they remember the good old days when the price of petrol was around 13 rand a litre. The price increase will not only affect motorists, but also will affect businesses. One such business is the butchery shop here in Bonteheuwel. It's been run for 35 years. Badruddin, who joins us now. Mr. Badruddin, thank you so much for your time. How will the price increase affect your business?
Apologies for that, Ronald Masinda. Seems we're getting, technical issues there from your side. We'll try and resolve it because that's an important conversation you're about to have in terms of residents there saying that, in the olden days, life used to be much better and cheaper. It seems to have gotten up evidently today. So Ronald Masinda out for us out in Cape Town. We'll be sure to get this for us.